All right, guys, I'm about to get a little bit weird today, and I'm gonna go shoot with this 11-year-old Sony point and shoot camera. My mother-in-law purchased this camera back when it first came out. She was working at Best Buy and got some kind of discount on it. And I know we've used it on a couple vacations in the past. She gave it to my kids to use, but I want to test it out, see if I can vlog with it, see what I can go shoot with it and stuff like that. It is the Sony DSC HX50V. Right now you can pick them up anywhere from like under $100 to like $250 on eBay. I'm sure those prices fluctuate depending on what people are including with theirs. I'll throw some specs at you here at the end, but let's go just kind of shoot some random stuff. First, I just want to go see what B-roll I can take with it and how good it turns out. I'll pop up a few photos that I snag, stuff like that. This thing does have a 30 times optical zoom, and then it does have clear image zoom past that. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm just kind of walking around in my yard and I'm trying to test out the vlogging capabilities of this guy. I cannot see the monitor. Now, there are mirrors you can get for these. I have one, but I let my sister-in-law borrow it and I don't have it right now. But there are mirrors you can get for something like this where you put it in the cold shoe or hot shoe mount and then you can see the screen when it doesn't have a flip-up screen. So definitely could use that if I wanted to. They're about like 25 bucks to 30 bucks. I'll link them below if you do have something like this that doesn't have a flip-up screen, you're shooting with your phone, whatever. Other than that, can't see myself, so I'm guessing on framing. There's no external microphone, so it's kind of how well does this mic sound? Is it good enough? Now, they come out of the top, so you're probably getting a lot of noise around. There's cars driving by. I'm sure you're hearing it. If you have softwares like DaVinci Resolve and you're paying for the studio version though, you can eliminate some of that noise and maybe tune this up. I'm going to do that real quick. So I've eliminated the noise in the background, and this is kind of just what it sounds like. With that voice isolation turned on DaVinci Resolve, there's a car driving by right now, but you probably can't hear it. Let's test out one more thing. I do want to do a video with me just doing the zoom, and I'll talk you through it. When I hit the clear image zoom, I'll say, and here's the clear image zoom, and you'll see kind of if the clear image zoom is even any good or if it's just complete garbage. But the optical zoom to 30 times is pretty amazing. You can do like wildlife photography or videography with something like this that has that kind of a zoom. So I'm just going to zoom in on my dog down here. Let's see how far away from me she gets. Do you see her down there by the trampoline? All right, let's start zooming in. She's under the trampoline. She's up to no good. Jasmine, what are you doing? All right, so this is still within the, we just went into digital. This is optical zooms probably farthest. And let me tighten in with the digital. Just trying to hold it still. There's her butt. We don't need your butt, Jasmine. All right, there's her face. I'm gonna zoom back out. It's so hard to keep it steady at this. All right. So that's about as much as I can kind of keep it steady. Okay, that's still optic or digital. Okay, we're back into optical range. So this is the tightest optical I got on her. And let me pull it back so you can see how far away she really is. So that's incredible on something so tiny and so cheap, like so inexpensive, so tiny. Pick one of these guys up and you can do some wildlife photography, videography. There's no slow-mo, although I'm shooting in 60p right now. I'm able to track her okay. I do have the active steady on, so it does have active stabe. This is not too bad. Hey Jasmine, what are you doing? What are you doing, pup? Come here! Jasmine, come here! Let's see her come over the hill. Yeah, not bad. All right, so sitting down and loading everything from this camera that I've shot in the last day and a half was interesting. So I figured out a few weird quirks and stuff like that I want to talk about real quick. But the main reason I shot this video was to kind of show that you can buy something cheap like a point and shoot and still shoot some pretty fun stuff. I mean, obviously you can do that with your cell phone. That being said, there's probably better cameras that are around this price point used that you'll find that you might be able to do something with. There is one feature though that's just kind of crazy, and I'm sure you can find other cameras around this price point that has that, and I'm encouraging you to do so. I'm not saying buy this camera specifically, but I'm showing kind of like what you can do with these point and shoots. That right there. The optical zoom is friggin' insane. It's more of a zoom than I have on this honkin' lens right here. So a 105, and like that 105 on APS-C is equivalent to like 160, but like this 30 times zoom is probably equivalent to like 300 or 400. Either way, really cool. It has active stabe, as you could see with the dog. There was like a decent, I was able to track her okay, like on the 30 times where I was still optical. I could still track her all right, like good enough, you know. And then you can always do things like add something like this. And I did this when I was in the park to try to give me, which is cheating a little bit because you get something small and you're trying to be small. But if you're getting something small and you're planning on doing some vlogging and stuff like that, like this, you do want something like this. So this is the Ulanzi MT33 flexible tripod. It's my favorite flexible tripod. I've gone through a lot of them. I'll link it down below. You guys can check it out if you want. But you could take something like this, and then what you do with it, and I've done videos on what other stuff you can do with flexible tripods that's not just using it as a tripod, but you can make kind of a side handle for it. So this gives you like a good steady shot. So you get something like this and you can do something like this with it. And it helps keep your shot steady. It takes this little thing that's like this and makes it so you have some stability with it. So something like this is really important. Like it's a $20 to $30 piece you can buy to go with your camera that will make all the difference in the world. The other thing I do suggest, which I said in the vlog, was there's a mirror you can buy called by Nicey Rig. It's like less than 30 bucks also. It goes in the cold shoe mount here. And if you got a camera like this, and maybe you're somebody that just has one of these cameras sitting around, and that's why you're choosing to use it, not you're going to go out and buy this specific camera, but you have a camera that doesn't have a flip out screen, get one of those mirrors. It goes right here. You tilt it so you can see where your framing is. So like when I was vlogging, I could not see my framing. I kept cutting the top of my head off and stuff. I didn't have mine. I let my sister-in-law use it. Okay. So anyways, doing that, having something like this, you pair those up and you can get by with something like this really well. So on the top of these cameras, you get like your knob that changes all your modes. And then you have your exposure setting over here. There is a custom button on it, and I've got mine set to do white balance, and you can change the setting on it. But you can see all the settings on the back. Yeah, so it's basic camera, you know. And then the menu, I'm not going to go fully into it. If you're really interested in this specific camera and you want to see menu, let me know in the comments and I'll do something on the whole menu breakdown. So you can shoot in 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. But the quirk about it is shooting in 30 frames per second, you're in MP4 format. And for some reason, it does 1440 by 1080 instead of 1920 by 1080. And because it does that, it's like all squish when it goes to your screen. Now, in DaVinci Resolve, which is the editing software I use, and there's a free version of it that you get a ton of tools with. And one of the tools you can use in it is a transform tool. And the transform tool allows you to stretch it out. So it looks like this. And then I add the transform tool, which stretches it to the right size. So it clearly did take the image, and it looked like the 16:9 aspect ratio in camera, but after I put it in the computer, it squished it. So I don't know what that is. I don't know why it does that. I thought I was filming and thought it was looking like a normal video aspect ratio. If you switch over to AVC HD and shoot in the 60p profile, so it's 1080 60p, and that's 1920 by 1080 60p. If you shoot in that profile, it doesn't do any squishing down or anything like that. So a couple other cool things it does have that you don't expect from an 11-year-old camera. It's got track focus. It's got facial, like it detects people, animals. It seems like it picks up the animals sometimes. You got your grid lines you can add to the screen. I don't know how visual they are on here. I've got my histogram. Histograms are nice to have. So like it has a lot of stuff for the age of the camera. So if you find one for like under $100, it might be worth grabbing. If not, if you're not finding them for under $100 and you're only seeing them out there for over 200, maybe look at something else, something newer. Go on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, see what used stuff people are selling. Sometimes it's fun to get into the mirrorless categories. Once you're into that $200 price point, you can find some used mirrorless cameras. Otherwise, I had a lot of fun shooting with it, and I'm still going to keep it. Like my kids are going to use it. We're going to keep it. It's an easy take out of the bag and just run with it, run and gun. You can zoom in crazy, like the zoom is nuts. If you enjoyed this video at all, seeing what you could do with something budget, cheap, point and shoot, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'd love to see you guys around. I'd love to hear from your comments, what you thought about what I picked up from this and stuff like that. Follow along and check out my full playlist on the Osmo Pocket 3 because that thing is awesome. A little bit more expensive, but pretty funnest camera I've ever had. And I'm going to go shoot something awesome. I've got something fun in store. My new studio setup next week. See you guys. Peace out. Later.